Good morning, children. I am social teacher Bhaskar for 9th class in Keshav Memorial High School. In the 9th class, the history chapter, first one, 12th chapter, one of the important chapter, most important chapter of the history in the 9th class. That is a 12th chapter, Changing Cultural Tradition in Europe. Changing Cultural Tradition in Europe. Europe, one of the knowledge and scientific continent in the world. There are many changes in the period of the nearly 1300 to and 1800. The Europe history age was divided three parts. One is the ancient period, medieval period, and modern period. Ancient period up to 400, medieval period 400 to 1300, and 1300 to 1800, early modern period, and 1800 to present modern period. The world scientific knowledge are important in this continent. We have read about some part of the lesson in the previous class. Today we have go to the read after that subpoint of the lesson. Now, in this day, in this chapter, we have read about the Renaissance. What is the Renaissance? It means rebirth. It means rebirth, Purajivanamu. There are many changes in the cultural tradition in Europe. Rome, Greek, very large emperors are ruling in the continents. Some of the great countries, civilizations are, cultural traditions are implemented of this continent. But changes are coming from only 400 up 1400 to 1800. Many changes are comes in the continent of Europe. Then after Constantinople occupied the Turkeys, the many countries, students or other scientists and fellows are going to the other countries to do something, some of the books, some of the cultural activities to study, to come up to change of in the worldwide of the Europe continent. Today, in this way, we have read something about part of the Renaissance, which means rebirth, revival of the Italian cities. Some cities, Greece, like some of the Constantinople, these are some of the places or some of the countries are revival the constitutionally, and also it is one of the great change method of in the countries of the revival. For example, artisans and sculptors, other etc. They are coming to the another activities of in this Italian cities. Now, humanists and universities. What is the humanism? What they think about the humanist? The change of the culture, mainly in the Europe continent, old traditional following. That one is the feudalism and the power of the churches. These are the main important of in the medieval period of the Europe. So, after 14th century, worldwide thinkers are sculptors, artists, and another activities are implementation in this age of the Europe. Now, we are going to the humanists and universities. They think about that. Humanists are thinking how to prepare the people to the domination of the power of the church. In this period, some of the sculptors, some of the artisans, some of the paintings are very more important, some changes of the Europe world. For example, Donatello, one of the main important writer, he prepared the people on those days. People have the more important the change of the from the power of the other. Then another person, Albert Dürer, his painting was very interesting. Praying hands. Those very statues are very good, and he can given the moral of the public or people's moral support of the people's to the how to the we are going to that society in that countries. And also Michelangelo, Pizza, the mother of Jesus holding of his son Jesus Christ. Very important, naturally more important paintings of the on those thinking of the people, how it is possible. The society must be changed. The power of we want to go to the power of the another church and feudalism on those days very important. These are the people wanted liberation and freedom of the on those days. That's why the writers, the sculptors, the painters, key role played in the society of the Europe continent. Now we are going to that another Leonardo da Vinci, one of the most important painting in the world. Nowadays also it is a very most famous painting in the world. Leonardo da Vinci is one of the great art, one of the great writer. The Last Supper. He has writing of the Last Supper, the most important book of the on those days. So these are the paintings, these are the sculptures. Society can change in the Europe continent. Now all those things we must be explained clearly. We must read the textbook line by line. There are some of the important things available. Important lines are matter we are available in the textbook. Dear students, you must not only we are not explaining more over the lesson, but we are explaining some part of this one. You are reading textbook mainly, part by subheadings mainly. For example, Donatello. Who is the Donatello? Then Leonardo da Vinci. One of the small pages in the score, our textbooks. We are one black in that one. Leonardo da Vinci, one of the author, the Last Supper, good painter. He has changed the society of the Italian, Europe continent. All those things we have read the something of the book. Now another point, another change is coming for the printing press. What is the printing? Before invent of the printing press, whole matter was only written by hand, manually handwritings. But after the printing press, it is very useful for to print the books, to reading of all the peoples. It is a very great, important change in the world wide. So the printing printing press was invented by the John Gutenberg, one of the most important person in the Europe. It was most changed. Nearly 150 copies of Bible has translated, printed at the time of the first in the printing machine Bible. So it was a very useful thing of the mainly sculptures, painters and authors, books. All these are society can change it to another way, to think about the another way, how to the knowledge, how to the implementation of the further going of the people. And the next, Erasmus, one of the good writer. Then Martin Luther, one of the black leader, black person from Germany. He had fight for the civil rights of the people. He spoke the demands of the to government powers. So he is also a great philosopher, great reader, and a great leader of the on those days to influence of the people, to more educated the people in the Europe continent. Now, Martin Luther, after in our chapter, one of the great person, Galileo, today we have technology well important. How it is possible? There is a high inflammation of the spices and also TV, video, radio. Some all these things happened by the only Galileo telescope. He invented the telescope, very useful for how long for that sky. We are see that how the stars, how the planets are revolving. All this happened to know about the scientists, how to the revolving and round of the movement of the earth on other. It is possible for the only Galileo. So all these people, John Gutenberg, Leonardo da Vinci, Erasmus, Martin Luther, and also Donatello, Albert Dürer, they are service the people. They are changing the continent of the countries culturally mainly. Painting, one of the culture, one of the most important changing of the world. So, students, we must read the textbook every day. One part, say we have taken the three parts. First one, Renaissance. Second one, humanist and universities. And third one, great scientists who are to provide the most important inventions in the Europe continent. We know about all this. So, dear students, it is a class of the 9th class. We are completing the 12th chapter, changing cultural tradition in Europe. It is not a clearly explanation, but it is not possible a whole book of the to explanation in this period. So we have discussed about some main points to read that. Mainly, what is the Renaissance? What is the humanist? What is the revival? How is the change of Europe? What is the ages are there? Then who are the people to serve the service of the in the society? How they are using for that? Their implements of the instruments for like say paintings, like a printing machines, like a artist. So everyone they have speed up the to maintain that their knowledge and the inventions are to more useful purpose of the Europe continent. It is a more intellectual development of the Europe continent that is a more important in our history of the Europe. So, dear students, today we have got the 3 questions are there. Write about the Leonardo da Vinci. Few points only, not only large. What is the Renaissance? Then another part, humanists and universities. Padua is a university main important on those days. So, 3 questions in front of you. One is what is the importance of the Leonardo da Vinci? Then second one, what important of the invention of the printing machine, what was use purpose of the in this. Write a 5 points of the about the John Gutenberg. Then 2 lines of the Galileo. And another things, how is the change of the totally can analysis 4 5 sub points of the in this chapter. Can you read that one? And also another point is that you can take one world map. In this world map, some part of the you can identify Germany, England, Italy, and also France and Britain. These countries you can find on your map of the world map. Next class we will take another chapter. In there any mistakes, please forgive me. Thank you. Thank you very much.